Aqua gang, gang, gang. What it do, you guys? It's your girl, Empress 777 here today with a general love message for my Aquarius soul family, my Aquarius gang. I hope you guys are doing super fantastic. I most certainly am. So let's get to it then. Holy angels and spirit guys, please give us exactly what we need to know for Aquarius sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. Please keep in mind, guys, these messages are general. All right. They may or may not resonate. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest for whoever else it's here for. Same goes for our cross watchers, right? You guys are welcome here. Just place yourself where you belong in the story. And I also say don't force anything to fit, okay? Try to use your intuition to guide you towards the messages that are here for you. All right. If you do not mind, please take a moment and click that like button, guys, okay? As well as the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload for this sign. Down below in the description box, there is information for those of you interested in a personal read, as well as those of you who are interested in following your girl, following our gang on Instagram, okay? Now, I think that's really it. I think that's about it, right? Okay. What a very sad, okay, pre-shuffle and meditation, you guys, okay? This energy in particular is of a person who is really in a battle with themselves, okay? Even though they may have brought a lot of fights to your doorstep, a lot of arguments, a lot of tit for tat, a lot of pettiness, lots of emotional immaturity, all of the above, right? And much more to your doorstep. That's all because of the battle that they were having internally with themselves, you guys, okay? This is definitely someone who is possibly second guessing, making a move towards you, even though I feel like they will give in at some point in time. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you've been in contact with this person, and it doesn't matter how long it has been since the two of you have engaged on a certain level, because for some of you, you may not have completely cut this person off, and vice versa. It does give the energy, however, of somebody who wants a particular form of control over themselves. They want their ego to remain in control, you guys. That's the battle. That's the fight that this person is having. That is what I heard as these two cards popped out as the most prevalent energy, okay? Accountability equals losing. And then this arrogance, right? I mean, the arrogance is off the charts, okay? This is somebody who does appear to be very confident, even when they're wrong. Loud and wrong is what I just heard. And this is also someone who welcomes you cutting them off, or you storming off, you getting mad, the two of you disconnecting from one another, you giving you the silent treatment, or the two of you just not talking for days and days at a time. They welcome that because that gives them the chance to still remain in control and let that ego do its work, and not potentially be in danger of feeling insecure. That's this person's like worst nightmare, is any feelings of insecurity, any feelings of feeling lesser than, any feelings of them not being on a pedestal or them not being propped up in their own mind. Because I don't feel like you purposefully would go out of your way to make this person feel bad. And I don't even feel like you know what triggers those insecurities. But I do know that you would feel blindsided at times when they would either start arguments, start drama, or disappear for some of you, just purposefully not allowing the situation to unfold properly, and or just blatantly telling lies, right? Just blatantly telling lies. They welcomed the disconnect of the two of you and then coming back around. That's actually something that they really leaned into because it allowed them to not have to take accountability. Now, you might be like, girl, I did make them take accountability. I definitely made them, like, I never let them. Well, that's not what it's stating, you guys, okay? So I need you to really be truthful with me and yourself, right? There were poignant times in which you possibly needed this person you needed to hold their feet to the fire, but because the two of you were not engaging with one another for an extended amount of time, or even just for a little while, and things may have quite possibly cooled off, there is a little bit of manipulation in there as well, meaning this person used this tactic as a form of manipulation. It wouldn't be very long before this person returned, right? Came back around started a conversation, and it does appear that the conversations that you and this person would have would just very much be surface level. It would never go into the details of the issues or why the disconnects keep happening, right? Why the arguments keep happening, the issues, like the root of the issue. It would never be that. And that's how they want things to remain. It's something that they promote, that they subscribe to. So I don't feel like their energy is any different at this point, though I could be wrong, right? I will definitely look into that. But in this instance, this is somebody who is battling themselves, you guys, okay? So when I say that they're having a battle internally, what I mean is that this is somebody who enjoys the time with you. They do have feelings for you. For some of you, those feelings may stem towards a area of love, but not necessarily love. Because y'all like, girl, that's not fucking love. This person does appear to have feelings of love for you, but they do not know how to love. Does that make sense? Okay. And there's also this inability to let go of characteristics about themselves that they know will always end things for them or end things for the two of you. They're quite all right with that, however, because they got really comfortable with this cycle. I also feel like there's a part of this person who feels like they're entitled to have this arrogance. Okay? This could be somebody who had like a glow up, is what I'm hearing. Don't force anything to fit, but this may be somebody who may have been like a little bit nerdy when they were in school, or just not like the popular kid, not the popular person in school. They may have gotten bullied. They may have had like a really hard time when they were younger. And instead of them embracing the ways in which they have grown into themselves as an adult and, you know, just enjoying, right? Not having to have those tumultuous, energies of insecurity and whatnot. They've gone all the way to the extreme, and now they have this false sense of confidence, you guys, which is that arrogance, okay? Which is also where you're getting all of the pushback, all right? I do get the idea that this person has a very nasty mouth on them, as do you, but you've spared them, is what they're saying. So the ways in which you could have really told this person off or held their feet to the fire is the phrase that they keep using. There are parts of you that felt sorry for this individual at certain junctures, even though they didn't reciprocate that energy. There wasn't much grace given to you from this person, yet you gave this person grace several times with this circle card here, okay? So look, see, we have challenges. So I feel like the challenge that this person is facing more notably is the fact that they may feel like you are either getting to your wit's end or that they have burnt this bridge entirely. That might be the case for some of you, but I still feel like they're holding on to hope, right? They're holding on to some sense of false hope, potentially. That arrogance won't allow them to believe that it's done or that you're done, right? And that they're not in control of this anymore, that there won't be an opportunity for them to come back around and pick up where the two of you left off, is the phrase that they're using. So there is still no accountability. They just kind of want to pick up where the two of you left off and act as if nothing ever happened. Them taking accountability does appear to them as losing, meaning that is something that their ego cannot take. That is something that their insecurities cannot take. This person does not like to address the things that make them feel insecure, even though those are the very things that would help them grow as a person and would help the two of you progress and make headway, okay, is what they're saying. This is somebody who purposefully avoids an actual new beginning, okay? That doesn't mean that they don't come back around and try to have another cycle, but it's a circle. So within that circle is the same behavior, right? The same treatment, the same ideologies, the same theories, the same perspectives. It's still in the same place, right? And on a circle, you can only end up in the same place that you fucking started, right? So we're starting at separation and we're trying again. If you're going to remain on that circle, you're going to find yourself at separation again at some point in time. It's not going anywhere. So this is a connection that you may have realized is not making headway. But if you're truthful with yourself, then you also know that this is someone who you have feelings for, or who you have had. This may be someone that you grew feelings for after a long time of being single, or after a long time of not entertaining people romantically. And that might be really hard for you to release. Not that you're not willing to do it, however, right? See, look, we got divinely guided. I also get the idea that this person gets really annoyed when you yourself show forms of confidence. That's very toxic. I'm hearing like they want to be the one in the connection with the most confidence, with the most cocky energy, with the most that's the only word that I can think of, right? Like, what are you saying, Spirit? They want to be the ones in the connection that's the most confident. That's what they're saying, you guys. Okay, so when you would show this person that you two are confident in your decisions and who you are as a person, that you're not backing down, that you know who you are, that you also know that you don't need this, right? Like, I can move forward. I have options, right? Like, I do have options. Like, don't ever sleep on me. That pisses them off. Okay, because it threatens this false sense of self that they've created, you guys. This arrogance is holding on by a thread. It's the only thing attaching them to their security, which is so sad, and it's false. They would rather lie to themselves. They would rather lie. This is also someone who would blame you if you did try to put them in a space to take any forms of accountability. They viewed it as you wanting to purposefully make them lose, nitpicking with them, not trying to make them be a responsible adult. No, absolutely not. That's not what you were doing. That's not what you were doing at all. In their mind, you just want me to take accountability because you want to win. And I don't think that that's the type of tip that you were on, but that's this person's skewed way of thinking of things. There would be moments where they would also feel the energetic force between the two of you and want to do the right thing, but then that ego would always win. So it's like a losing battle for this person. I don't know why they don't realize that's what it is. Look at that. See, 9 of Wands. The ego, this person's ego has gotten them hurt many of times before, not just in this connection. So for me to say that, then I feel like some of you don't realize that this person also feels hurt when the two of you are not engaging with one another. When the two of you are separated, they feel that as well, even though that false sense of self, that arrogance would suggest that they don't care and that they're moving forward, or that they're in control completely of their feelings. That's not true. This is just someone who's able to play it off, right? They're able to wear that mask that suggests that they don't care, that it is what it is. But we would all here know, especially if you're resonating with this story, that that's a lie. Because if it was what it was and you don't care, then they wouldn't always be making a U-turn, right? Spinning the block, trying to get you to enter back into this cycle or pick up where the two of you left off. That wouldn't be a pattern. They would have been moved on if that was the case. So we know that's a lie. Yeah, look, 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. We know for certain that that is a lie. And how they view you is the Strength card. Wow. Yep, King of Wands. Wow, 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 wow. It's quite sad, you guys, okay? I did feel sadness. I think I said that already. That this person definitely sees a lot in you that they wish that they had in themselves, okay? Because no matter what they did in this connection to try and break you down, they were never in control of your security within yourself, of your self-worth, right? Of how you felt about yourself, about what you felt like you would be or could accomplish, right? So your confidence is actual and theirs is factual. What? Yeah, you're showing up as a King of Wands Strength card. So they view you as someone who is extremely confident. Your confidence aerates. It's an aura. It's something that can't be faked. This is also someone who gets, this is also why they get so triggered when you do try to make them take accountability, or when they're faced with certain obstacles and challenges in the connection, because then they feel like people can really see them. They feel naked. This is why they would start an argument or start a fight or lie or gaslight you, right? Or they're using a particular phrase, deflect. right? So that's when the conversation or the argument that they're getting ready to start, this is how they start the argument. So you come to them diplomatically or as someone who actually cares, and instead of them sitting in a space and being open to constructive criticism, because like I said, you wasn't breaking this person down like a fraction the way that you could have. You weren't. You showed a lot of grace and poise. You showed a lot of care and nurturing for this person. That definitely is something that went over their head, because the second you start criticizing them, even if it's constructive, their ego is now in danger. Hello. And it puts them in a position to believe that their mask has slipped. Now people can really see how insecure they are, or people can really see that person, that little boy, that little girl internally that they feel like is dead and gone, but is actually controlling the way that they conduct themselves in life. So they're still conducting themselves as that bullied child or teenager, or right? And that's how they're defending themselves, and that's where these tactics come from. But it's all a lie. So instead of accepting that and being open to that, now the conversation becomes about the things that you've done, right? So they're spewing out an example. So if you come to this person and say, listen, something has to change because these cycles seem to be the same. You keep doing X, Y, and Z, and I need you to do A, B, C. They're instead of them saying, you know what, you're right, especially because I'm back. I'm the one showing back up. So, ma'am, sir, bruh, sis, I'm sorry, sit your ass down. You're the one showing back up in someone else's life. Who do you think you are to show back up and not take accountability and not recognize the ways in which things have gone awry? Because it's not Aquarius. And I keep it a buck over here. I get on y'all sometime too when it's you. It's not the case here. So instead of them sitting in a space and saying, you're right, you know, this is what I plan to do different, they will instead say, well, remember that time that you did X, Y, and Z? I didn't tell you needed to do A, B, and C. The only difference is when you did X, Y, and Z, you were in your right to do that. You're not doing shit just for the sake of doing shit. You're not doing things just for the sake of winning or breaking someone down. The way that you conduct yourself, there's meaning and there's a reason why you're doing every single thing. And it's not rooted in toxicity. So it's very different from when they would have been doing it. But the point is to deflect. And I feel like you would have fell into that trap a couple of times, you guys. All right, that's what it's stating. This circles card is right over the 9 of Wands and the 3 of Swords. So there's lots of arguments and battles about nonsensical shit. I don't know how this person, they're smart. They're not dumb. This is not a dummy, right? But instead of using their intellect or their brain power for good, they're using it for evil. Because I feel like you would fall into this. It does feel like a trap, okay? I'm just going to say that. It feels like a trap door. Where that same conversation, instead of you doubling down and telling them what they're stating has absolutely nothing to do with where you're trying to take the conversation, I feel like you would take that bait. And then it would turn into you defending yourself. And before you know it, you're the one apologizing. I mean, it's wild. It's a wild ride with this one is what I'm hearing. So this person felt like they had to use those tactics against you because you are strong, you are confident. That doesn't mean that you haven't been through shit, but you're resilient, okay? And you've done the work so you know yourself to a certain extent and to a certain point that this person has not made it to. Because they're refusing to work through their issues or through their traumas or through their shadows. Now, I can't tell you guys what to do. Of course not, right? Like, it's free will. But I definitely give my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I know nobody ain't asked, right? But it's a dangerous game to get into a connection, a relationship, a partnership, anything of the sort with someone who is a bit jealous, right? Of who you are, of things that you have no control over. Also with a person who is unwilling to go towards the things that they want. So they do want to feel confident. They do want to have that deep sense of self and self-confidence. but they're refusing. Like, it's almost as if they just feel like they will crumble if they even look at it. If they ever addressed it, they have to hide it. They have to pretend like it's not there, and they don't want anybody else to act like it's there either. So if you bring up anything to this person that suggests that you can see their insecurities, you're getting a blow up, okay? They're blowing up. This is extremely concerning, because I do feel like this person has their eyes set on you. It's sort of like that love-hate type of energy. They definitely have feelings of love for you and emotions and ways in which that they do admire you. But instead of saying that, and instead of admitting that, they would in turn want to just, do some crazy making shit, right? Crazy making behavior, like that gaslighting, that deflection, that over sense of confidence, false sense of self. They'd rather just show up like that, and that has not worked. Don't know what the end game here is for them. You intimidate this person very much so, even though they would beg to differ. They would beg to differ and say that they're not intimidated by anyone, especially not somebody that they're in love with, especially not a romantic counterpart. No. But that is not true, guys. They are very much so intimidated by you. Look at that, Four of Pentacles. So I feel like at this juncture, this person is standing back, trying to decipher what their next moves should be, what their next moves will be. We have that Five of Wands, which suggests that you definitely need to protect your energy, okay? Because even if you decided that you're not going to deal with this anymore on a certain extent or to a certain level, that's not everybody. And this is someone who does, like I said, have this arrogance to think that they can return. And that Five of Wands suggests that there's some form of a battle, a conflict, right? A disturbance of energetic fields. So a disruption such as this, especially energetically, is coming from the actions of this person, right? Definitely not liking the fact that you are standing in your power, especially if you have not reached out to them, or especially if you have not answered them up until this point. If they have reached out, that you're holding on to your resources or not seeing the value in giving into them anymore. That's only heightening that triggering feeling. I also feel like this person, when they spin the block, because this is a pattern of theirs, they've done it in other connections as well. It does feed that ego when people come back towards them, or when they're able to maneuver their way back in without having to answer for themselves, without having to give an explanation, right, for their behavior. When they're able to just come back in with damn near nothing, right? It's just a celebration. They showed up with nothing, celebrations, right? Just the fact that they're there, it feeds that ego, it revs up that arrogant energy, and it also solidifies that false self that they have created. Because it signifies to them that, I can get whoever I want. Like, I can get you back if I wanted to. Like, I'm that girl. I'm that dude. Like, if I want to come back and get you back, I can. You're going to be right there. That's that arrogance, right? So, even if you have gone a couple cycles with this person, I do feel some very destructive energy on the horizon based on this Strength card. Because it suggests that you're not so easily accessible at this time. Look at that. Six of Cups in the reverse. Damn, Fool in the reverse, and the Empress is in the reverse. You can't make it up. So they're losing their shit, quite literally. Has absolutely nothing to do with you, right? Unless you engage to a certain extent. But there is still some very prevalent energy here that suggests that you need to protect yourself. This person does strike me as the type of energy that can potentially become unhinged. Couple fries short of a Happy Meal when their tactics are not working. And the time frame does suggest that this is going to happen very soon. So if you are entertaining other people and or just focusing on yourself, there's a bit of a threat here, you guys, okay? Not to alarm you past a certain extent, just to get you aware, make you aware that this energy is here. And it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, okay? It's here to stay, is what they just said. Let's go over to the extended. I will have new love over there, of course, okay? Because I do feel like that is your direction, okay? For a good majority of you. Not saying that there's no potential here whatsoever, but it still appears that this is someone who is in competition with you. This is somebody who wants to battle with you. This is somebody who possibly wants to humble you, break you down, get you off your high horse, so to speak, and have their way, right? And their way consists of a lot of ego and arrogance. So I'm going to look at new love. I just want to tie this up with a cute little bow, however, okay? So let's see where this person believes things are heading, all right? Well, we know they're arrogant, okay? So just because they think something is heading a certain way doesn't mean that it's necessarily true, but that'll at least give you an idea of where their head is at so you can stay 10 steps ahead of this motherfucker, okay? I also want to know what shadows might you need to look at that you don't realize are still there. It does suggest that these shadows are subconscious, and this would be the reason why things are going down this way, why this is showing up altogether. Working on those will definitely put a wrench in this person's in their plans for sure, okay? I also want to see what karma the divine has in store for this person's behavior. All right, what karma or karmic debt are they due to pay here in the near future? And then we'll see their next steps as well as their intentions, so you can fully prepare yourself, okay? That's why this is here as well, to give you a forewarning of what you have coming towards you. All right, and then I want to see what the potential outcome is if you decide to re-engage with this or go in the opposite direction. No judgment. I'm going to look at both of those, all right? And then we're going to get right into new love, okay? Before we look at the newer energies of the newer people, I definitely just want to create some energetic barriers and some protection around you. So I first want to see what Spirit suggests, what energies they suggest or what they suggest you do or how they suggest you show up in this next cycle to elevate you so high. Okay? Follow me now. That toxicity is like not even in your zip code. Can't find you. Nowhere to be found. Can't touch you. Can't look at you. Can't see you. You're invisible to it. What needs to be done in order for that to happen? I also want to know how Spirit suggests you restore your trust and optimism in love and relationships. I feel like I need to do that intuitively for those of you who have possibly or potentially given up, right? Especially just on an emotional level. So let's see what they suggest you do to just restore your trust in it. And I also want to see what blockages, if any, might be prolonging you from moving on to the next cycle or getting out of the current cycle, so to speak, okay? And then we're going to get right into the energies that's coming in towards you, okay? Who's showing up? Only the good, only the new. Is it worth your time, right? Is it worth it? We will take a look to see who specifically is showing up, what these personalities are like, so you can know exactly who I'm talking about. All right. I also want to know what the chemistry is like between you and this person, how the two of you will potentially meet. And then we'll see what the potential is for things to go all the way into union within the near future with one of these energies that are showing up. All right. Lastly, we will get your focus advice on how you can attain your desired life of fulfillment and happiness, whatever that recipe is for you, as everyone's recipe for happiness is different. We're going to see what Spirit suggests you do in order to speed up the momentum and materialize those things before your eyes in the least amount of time. Okay. So without further ado, please click that like button and that subscribe button. All right. I'm going to put the link for the extended down below in the description box, and I'm going to see y'all over there. All right.